Alright, it's drinking time and Angron's getting the first round. He walks up to the bar and the bartender makes a fatal mistake. He says, "What can I get you, sir?" And that's it. The bartender's already unconscious on the floor. Angron just glances down at him.
Do not call me sire, even in jest.
Welcome back to Whispers of the Warp. Today we're grabbing a pint and ranking exactly how likely each Primarch is to start a massive bar fight. Now, before we get started with the rest of the list, hit pause, drop a comment. Which Primarch do you think is starting the absolute biggest brawl tonight? And how exactly is it going to kick off? Lock in your answers, no cheating and commenting, "Ha, I called it," at the end of the video. Next up, we have the Night Haunter himself, Comrade Kurz. Now, while he's about as useful as a chocolate teapot in the 41st millennium, he's somehow even less fun in a social setting. You think Kurz seems like the sort of guy who could sit back in a dark booth, relax and unwind. Picture this. There's a little sign outside the door that says, "Please respect our neighbours when leaving." Someone cheers a little bit too loudly near the exit. That's it. The flaying kit immediately comes out. Within 5 minutes, we have skinless patrons hanging from the tavern roof. Way to completely kill the mood, Conrad. Though, on a technicality, I guess one-sided massacre isn't exactly a bar fight. Now, Ferris Manus. On paper, Ferris is a good, rational guy. You'd think he'd sit in a bar, minding his own business. And he does. But he's made the exact mathematical calculation on how to get the buzz as quickly and efficiently as possible. The problem is his calculation doesn't involve beer. Instead of ordering a pint, he's sitting in a booth injecting the perfect amount of banned, highly illegal, underhyped substance directly into his eyeballs. The bouncers see this, immediately call the Arbites, and promptly try to have him removed from the establishment for breaking about 70 health codes. Does it start a massive bar fight? Probably once the bouncers put their hands on him, but he really gets disqualified for treating the night out like a math problem. Next up, we have the dynamic duo, Leman Russ and the Khan. These two are sitting at your booth, going shot for shot, drinking something so chemically awful it's essentially unfiltered rocket fuel. At first, they're pretty chill, but you can clearly see trouble brewing when they start falling over the place, laughing and beginning to roughhouse like giant armored golden retrievers. And let me tell you, stepping in front of the bouncer saying, "Look, my friend isn't drunk, he's just Fenrisian, that's how they sound," is absolutely not going to fly. The second the bouncer steps up and says, "Come on lads, let's calm it down," the friendly wrestling match immediately turns into a tavern-destroying brawl. They are 100% starting a fight, but they're going to be laughing the entire time. Now, if Russ and Khan are taking shots at the sticky tables, over in the VIP corner we have Fulgrim and Sanguinius. They're sat on velvet cushions, swirling vintage wine, discussing the inherent grace and beauty in all things. And at this point I realise I've invited out to the most agonising, boring, highbrow night of galactic history. I'm slowly inching towards the door while I debate the difference between why couture is far more simple and superior to horticulture. There is absolutely no bar fight happening here. But honestly, I'm actively praying for a Gene Stealer uprising. One just to burst through the ceiling and get me out of this damn conversation. You know that one guy who's exactly 1 pint away and suddenly wants to drag you into 3-hour philosophical and political debate? Yeah, welcome to sitting next to Lorgar on a night out. To be completely honest, the fact that he showed up to the pub already completely oiled and covered in scripture gave me the wrong vibes immediately. There is absolutely zero chance of a bar fight here. No rowdiness, no broken tables, just entire agonizing evening of a guy trying to aggressively convert you to his way of thinking. I'm 100% getting ready to pull the old fake emergency voc call from a friend routine just to escape. Sorry Lorgar, wonderful stuff you wouldn't understand. Now, we all know the age-old spoon tradition of using the app to order completely random crap to your mate's table. With old PT and Rogal Dawn, this is the exact kind of nonsense you're going to get. Perturbo is sitting at his own table surrounded by the Iron Circle automatons because he refuses to trust anyone, despite the fact he's actually the one that invited you out tonight. He's sitting there staring at his datapad, chuckling to himself because he's just managed to bypass the Imperial Fist defenses by having a single bowl of garden peas turn up to Dawn's table. But that smugness instantly vanishes when Perturbo looks down and finds out Dawn's preemptively retaliated by sending him a side of cold mashed potatoes to his table. And how does this bitter tactical siege end? With both of them getting aggressively lectured by Spoonstaff. The two greatest masters of defense and siegecraft in the galaxy going absolutely red in the face as an angry bartender threatens to kick them out into the street for making stupid orders. They go straight to the ban from pub tier. Then we have Vulcan. You shoot him a quick Vox message. Pint tonight? You wait. Nothing. He completely leaves you on red. He doesn't show up. Not a single sorry mate. Busy forging a hammer text. You sit there for 2 hours straight staring at an empty stool, starting to seriously wonder why you even keep inviting Matt in the first place. Obviously there's no bar fight because the guy didn't even make it to the bar. Though, to be fair, you know you'll still invite him next week just in case he actually shows up to give you one of those legendary hugs. So you're starting to feel a little bit bad for Mortarion. Callous Typhon is always giving him grief. The rest of his brothers ignore him. So you decide to be the bigger person and invite him out for a quiet pint. He actually shows up, but you realise really quickly exactly why you never hang out with him. You are just trying to have a chill time in the beer garden, but this guy's sitting across from you, aggressively puffing his own homeworld's toxic fumes out of his respirator just to stay alive. It's absolutely the worst secondhand smoke you've ever had in your entire existence. You're coughing, your eyes are watering, the pub landlord is screaming something about an asbestos leak. There's no firefight, complete evacuation of the premises. He goes straight in the health code violation tier. If you've listened to first 3 audiobooks, you know exactly why we're inviting this big beautiful bald man out for a pint. Horus is just so overwhelmingly charismatic, he walks into the pub and everyone immediately loves him. Honestly, the fact that he sounds exactly like a giant genetically engineered Santa Claus really helps set the mood. Does he start a bar fight? Absolutely not. He buys the entire pub a round of drinks, casually diffuses 3 different arguments just by smiling at people, and leaves the bartender a massive tip. He goes goes straight to the life of the party tier. Never in my life I had someone on a night out actively avoid more questions than the Lion. How are you supposed to have a normal type of guy when everything he says is just a wall of calculated nothing? You try and make small talk. How was traffic getting here, Lion? He stares at you and he says,
The traffic was exactly as it needed to be.
Alright mate, I'm just trying to be friendly. The absolute only time he's willing to volunteer any information the entire night, he leans over his glass, looks around the room, and deadpan tells you that Terran pigeons aren't real and they actually went extinct in the 3rd millennium. There is no bar fight happening here. Just pure exhausting paranoia. He goes straight in the tinfoil hat tier. Then there is Corvus Corax. Corvus is the one friend who's always on high alert. He walks up to the bartender, looks him dead in the eyes and orders a Diet Pepsi without even waiting to be asked, is Pepsi okay? He just knows. The guy doesn't even need a drink to do his brooding Batman impression. The problem is, he's always Batman. Just for once, you invite him out hoping you'll get Bruce Wayne for a couple of pints, but no. He sits in the darkest booth, glaring at the fruit machine like it's committed crimes. Does he start a bar fight? No, but the absolute second it becomes his round to buy drinks, you turn around and he's literally shadow walked out the building. He goes straight into the
I am the night
tier. Drinks and a show? Well, Magnus the Red is the guy who just learned a bit of close-up magic and really wants to show you his new trick. The problem is, he's found some dusty old script, didn't quite know what the translation said, and just decided to improvise a bit. Next thing you know, the bar is on fire. Everything's on fire. And a horde of screaming demons burst through the cellar through a fresh warp brick. For the first time in 10,000 years, you are actually sitting here thinking, where is Leman Russ when you really need him? Magnus single-handedly destroys the pub and goes straight into the did nothing wrong but ruined everything tier. Have you ever spent the entire evening being completely and utterly gaslit? Yes? Then you know exactly what it's like to invite Alpharius out for a drink. You sit down and somehow every round is your round. You try and argue it, but he seamlessly weaves a web of lies about how he bought the crisps earlier, so it balances out. Even the bartender's in on it, nodding along, taking your money. And the worst part, you look away for 1 second, suddenly has a mustache. You blink, the mustache is gone. You go to the bathroom, you come back, another bartender has the exact same mustache. What's going on? Are you Alpharius? Am I Alpharius? There is no bar fight, just psychological warfare and an empty bank account. He goes straight into the gaslight gatekeep gene seed tier. Do you like goth girls? Do you like white monster energy drink? Do you like being told you're a good boy? Well, strap in because Bobby G is about to give you the best night out you've had in your entire life. Guilliman is finally taking a single night off from his 10,000-year-old galactic Excel spreadsheet, and the two of you are going out on the pool, and honestly, it starts great. Bobby spends his entire evening effortlessly chatting up incredibly tall, dominant women. But the absolute second it comes time for him to wingman you, he looks at you, dead in the eyes, taps his massive book strapped to his hip and says, bruh, it's strictly against the Codex. I'm taking one for the team here. There is no bar fight, just pure logistical betrayal. He goes straight into the worst wingman in the galaxy tier. So I might have started this video with a simple question about which Primarch could start a bar fight, but after the absolute betrayal at the club, it somehow ends with me presenting my official step-by-step manifesto on exactly why I'm starting the Horus Heresy 2. Guilliman, look what you made me do. If you want to draft your own trait allegiance for the Horus Heresy, let me know exactly what's wrong with my tier list down in the comment, and if you enjoyed the video, hit subscribe, it helps grow the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goddamn Guilliman.